Hello, I'm your host, Jim Baroni, and I'm going to welcome you to my podcast. This is episode 3. The House of Representatives passed the SAVE Act on April 10th with a 220 to 208 vote. 4 Democrats joined the Republicans in supporting this act. So you have to prove who you are in order to register. You have to prove who you are to vote. A lot of people are fighting back on this. I don't get it. Don't you want a fair election? I mean, just a downright fair one. Instead of me going, Jim wins, I can say Jim's trying to win, and then it takes the people to vote, all the people to vote, and say, I like Jim or I don't like Jim. But it shouldn't just be
Jim is going to win.
Jim wins.
Jim is going to win. Jim is going to win.
Nobody voted. Jim won. It should be a fair election. That's what voting is for. It's to give, and it has to have some type of checks and balances. And the checks and balances is you got to be registered. You got to prove who you are, and you got to prove who you are when you vote. I don't see anything wrong with that. This way here, when an election comes and it's over, the people spoke. Not the American dollar spoke. And that's the way it's been for a long time. The American dollar spoke. Guy knock on my door. Hey, Jim, you're voting Democratic today, ain't you? Well, I don't know, dude. How about now, are you? Yes, I am. Matter of fact, I was just going to go down there now and do that. So some of the blowback is, and I hear people always got that little spin. Let's throw this. Women are having a hard time. You know why? When they get married, they change their name. Some change their name. When we got married, they asked my wife, are you going to keep your maiden name or are you going to take your husband's new name? You're taking my name. Well, she took my name. I thought it was a good idea because this way here, anytime there's proof of anything, it's easier to prove. My address, her address. My name, her name. Front name a little different. She has stuff I don't have. But it would be easier to prove because this way here, if we pull out electric bill, gas bill, everything has our name on it. Our two names are on every single thing we own. Everything. And I think that's the way it should be. But I see in a lot of the media is saying, oh, the women it's not fair to women because when they get their names changed, then it's hard to prove. Okay. If it's hard to prove it, what happens if your husband dies and he's a billionaire? Oh, well, I'll figure it out then. Well, maybe it's going to be too late. Or maybe your husband doesn't have anything at all. But just think, if you don't have your name on anything, you can never contest anything or do anything. Why are you going to wait down the road until maybe it's too late? I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong with everybody having a thing. And they're saying, well, women, it's just that they got to go down and they got to prove who they are. So, when you get a bank account, you got to do it. Whenever you want to get some ching-ching, you got to do it. You have to be right. You cannot open a bank account in her name and your name and not go down there and prove who you are. That's a bank. That's a checking account. That's a savings account. That's credit. Buying a car. I can buy a car without my wife's name, but if my credit ain't good enough, I can't. I would need her. So she would have to have an ID and she would have to prove who she is. So what's wrong with proving that I'm going to vote, that I want to vote, that I want to have some kind of say? I've always learned if you don't vote, you don't have a right to bitch that it's wrong. Or you don't have a right to say Trump is an idiot and he shouldn't be in office. If you voted, then yeah, you have a complaint. But if you don't vote at all, you don't have a right to say anything. You didn't do anything to get that person to win. So why are you being negative against something that you didn't have no choice in, that you didn't choose to participate in? So I think all this hype and all this is the Democrats stirring up crap because they want illegal aliens to vote in our country. And they're under the assumption that who is a Democrat? Poor people. Who's a Republican? Rich people. And I know it ain't necessarily that way. I am a registered Democrat. I am a registered Democrat. Used to vote Democrat. I used to vote Democrat all the time. Why? Because my father said I was a Democrat. Oops, so I'm a Democrat. Daddy said. Until I realized that I should have a choice. It's not about, to me, if you're a Democrat or Republican, to me that means nothing. It's only a tag. It's a tag. What are you? Democrat. So does that mean I have to vote Democratic? No, it does not. You do not have to vote Democratic. If you are a Republican, you don't have to vote Republican. Vote for who you believe is the right person. Doesn't matter if he's an independent. If you really feel that this independent, I'm going to be a president, is the guy, vote for him. Vote for him. You should. But don't vote because you say, well, I'm registered Democrat, so I got to go in there and I got to pull that damn Democrat tab. No, you don't. If you do that, you're a robot. That means you ain't got no brains and you're not allowed to think and you're not allowed to choose. So where's your rights at? You don't have no rights then. My rights is I have to do what the Democrat Party says, or my rights is that whatever the Republicans say I have to do? No. It should be what I choose to do. Really, I think the SAVE Act is a move to the right way. Well, I don't want illegal aliens voting. You know why? Because they're illegal? No. Because they're poor people? No. Because they don't really care or have enough knowledge, or they don't have enough time building the United States. They're here maybe escaping a world that sucks real bad. And I'm sure a lot of them are. It's a poor situation and they want to go someplace where they have a chance. They don't have a chance in Pakistan. They don't have a chance in Mexico. They don't have a chance in Canada or whatever they came from. But we should have legal voting.
Jim is going to win. Jim is going to win. Jim is going to win.
Although it has. When I was growing up, I remember Jumbar. He owned a tavern over on Loomis. And he was, I don't know if he was some type of representative or something, but a district, whatever they called him back then. But you never seen the guy. I mean, other than if you went to his tavern and had a beer, or if you were driving by or going by and he was out there sweeping the sidewalk or something like that. But you never seen him other than that until it was voter time. When it would get around voter time, he would get out and come door to door, every single door, and say, yo, dude, next Tuesday's voting. Make sure you get all them Cummings kids and stuff. Get all them kids, man. There's 1,000 of them. Get all those kids that are able to vote. They need to get down there and vote Democratic. And make sure, Jim, you and your wife go. Your kids are too young, but when they get older, you need to make sure they vote too. You need any garbage cans? How about you got any parking tickets? Or that's the only time I seen him. I was young. I was in my 20s. Because before that was my dad. You're Democrat. Why? Because you're poor. Oh. So I got to be rich to be a Republican. Yeah. That's what he said. You're born a Democrat because you were born poor. That's wrong. But to me, I'm tagged as a Democrat. Do I gotta vote Democratic? No, I don't. You should not. You should want to rebel anytime someone says, oh, your father was a Democrat, your mother's a Democrat. You will go down to the poll and pull that damn lever that says Democrat all the way across. And don't make me find out you did anything other than that. Or if you're a Republican, you better get down there in your limo and you better pull that lever for Republican. To me, that's not a free place. It's not. I don't always like what happens. I have to be the first to say it. I don't like what goes on most of the time. But you know what? At least I voted the way I thought it should go. Whether it goes that way or not, it doesn't really make no difference because we're come together as a country and we decide. I think you should wear a black shirt. Well, I'm wearing a gray one today. Just that's my opinion. And even if we had to vote every day on what color clothes we wear, if everybody in the community was voting, everybody'd be wearing the same clothes, wouldn't they? But we have to have some kind of checks and balances. We got to make sure that the vote is the correct vote. It's by the person that actually is legal to vote. I'll bet you that if we brought in 5 or 10 million people and made them all Republicans and said, let's vote, the Democrats would say, no, we need voter ID. I bet you $1 billion if I had it. It's about money. I don't think about money. I think about what's fair. Did Trump win? Yes or no? Looks like it. He's president. Did Kamala Harris win? No. Why? People voted against her. If you don't vote and Trump won, then you voted against her because she didn't get your vote. Trump didn't get your vote either, but she didn't get your vote, so she lost because of you not voting, if you were going to vote for her. Voting is not just for presidents and mayors, it's for everybody. Look what Pritzker's doing in Illinois. I voted against him, but he's still in there. And he's doing stuff daily that tears stuff up. He's trying to take away my Second Amendment right to bear arms. Why? Our country's always been able to bear arms. How do you think we defended ourselves against the British? Just to get back and then they go, you don't have the right for a firearm. I'd be saying, hail the Queen. So would you. Or just think if there was no such thing as voting. I mean, just there's a lot of stuff. But the voting, it can make the country something better. It can make it evil. But that's why it has to be realistic and it has to be a registration and it has to be a legal registration. And people that are actually American citizens should have that voice. Not somebody that's been here for 6 months from Mexico or Guadalajara or anywhere else. You want to be a voter? Awesome. Become a citizen legally, and you earn that right to go down there and vote me out. Until you do that, though, you don't have the right. You shouldn't have the right. I don't like that lady that's in Mexico as a president. So I think she should be voted out. So I should run down there during election time and go and vote against her. Or how about Putin? I'll fly over to Russia and vote Putin out. Or go to China. Xi Jinping. 你好，他是不好人。走了。 I'll have more on voting, but I think that we need to vote. And I see all this stuff every day when I look on the news, and I see how Democrats are voting and the Republicans are voting on laws and all that stuff. And I see to where it's always that 217 Republican, 214 Democrat. But then I look at there, all the Democrats are voting against something like, I'll give you a good example, voter registration. Why shouldn't we have voter ID? All the Democrats voted against that. So does the Democrat Party mean we should just let anybody that's here near a voting machine vote? Even though they're not a citizen and they don't really care about our country? I have a problem with that. I do. I don't think that's right. But there's a lot of stuff the Democrats are voting against. And the Big Save Act was a good deal. And almost all the Democrats voted against it. They don't want voter ID. They don't want it to be a fair election. They want it to be one that I can do it. I can get Jim in there.
Jim is going to win. Jim is going to win.
But we need to fix this. We can't fix this. Don't be pissed off at Trump. It has nothing to do with Trump. It's about making things fair for everyone that is a citizen. That's my rant. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up, and I'm glad that you joined me today, and I hope that you like my podcast. I'm Jim Baroni, your host, and we'll have more because I love talking. We'll see you later. Be careful.
Big Jim Trucker, thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button.